Hare Krishna. So, a very warm welcome to all of you for today's session on the Bhagavad Gita. And today we'll be beginning our discussion with the 29th shloka of the third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. We'll start our session with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So in our previous session, we discussed about some very, very important aspects of the third chapter. In fact, one of the most important shloka of the third chapter, we discussed the 27th shloka, where Lord Krishna talks about the three modes of material nature. And we discussed how this whole universal creation is created by the Lord, and everything is composed of the three modes of material nature. And we discussed some very beautiful examples regarding that. And then we discussed that a person who knows about it, a person who knows the Supreme Lord, he knows Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagwan aspect, he never gets entangled in all these things. So now today we'll begin our discussion with text 29, shloka number 29 of the third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Prakriter guna sammudha sajjante guna karmasu tana krishna vido mandan Krishna vinna vichalayet. Prakriter guna sammudha sajjante guna karmasu tana Krishna vido mandan Krishna vinna vichalayet. Translation: persons with incomplete knowledge become attached to material activities, being bewildered by the three modes of material nature. However, those with complete knowledge should not agitate or unsettle them. So now we see here in the previous shloka, in the previous session, as we discussed, a person with knowledge who knows. We discussed a very important term, tattva with, in the previous shloka. That means the last shloka of the previous session. We discussed about tattva with. Tattvavit means a person who knows the tattva. Tattva means the truth. And tattva is tattvo ke tattva jagjivan Shri Krishna Chandra. The supreme absolute truth is Krishna. So tattvavit means a person who has knowledge about Krishna and all the aspects related to Lord Krishna. As we have discussed in the previous session also, that there are three aspects by which generally people try to understand God. The lowest aspect, or the lowest people who are beginners in Krishna consciousness, beginners in spirituality, they understand the Lord through his impersonal feature or through his effulgence, which is called Brahman realization. Then higher than that is Paramatma realization. And in that, they are basically at the middle level of understanding. So they understand the Lord as all pervasive Paramatma or super soul, who is conscious of the whole creation. That is Paramatma realization. And the highest is Bhagwan realization, when a devotee is able to have personal relationship with Krishna. So Bhagwan realization includes all three realizations: Brahman, Paramatma, as well as Bhagwan. So knowledgeable person means who knows the tattva, who knows the absolute truth, and he knows Brahman, Paramatma, as well as Bhagwan. So prakriter guna sammudha sajjante guna karmasu. So Lord Krishna is telling here that prakriter guna sammudha. Prakriter guna means the three modes. And mudha means a person who is bewildered by these three modes. Everyone is bewildered by these three modes, because everything in this material world is controlled by the Lord through the agency of these three modes, which is called the material nature. Material nature is basically the three modes along with time element. The three modes along with the time element is the whole material nature what we see. So Prakriter Guna Sammuda. So Prakriti means material nature and Guna means the three modes. So this material nature, which is comprised of the three modes, bewilders every living entity. That bewilders everyone. Why? Because everyone thinks that whatever we see, the three modes, is real. That is bewilderment. Just like in a dream, we think that dream is real. Although we are sleeping, there is nothing real, there is no reality. But we feel there is reality because of illusion. That illusion is the three modes along with the time element. So that's what is mentioned here. Prakriter guna sammudha sajjante guna karmasu. So those who are engaged in this material nature, they are bewildered by these three modes. And then you see what is Lord Krishna saying here. Tana kritsna vido mandan. Akritsna vido. Akritsna vido means, kritsna means everything or entire. And vido means knowledge. And akritsna means who does not have any knowledge. So a person who is not in knowledge, mandan. Mandan means mand. Mand means lazy. Mand also means imperfect. So such people, those who are bewildered by the three modes and who have no knowledge, they are bewildered by the three modes and generally they are lazy. Now, lazy does not mean only that they will be sleeping every time or they will be materially lazy. No. Lazy means they'll be spiritually lazy. For example, if we tell people that you come to this place, we'll give you some money, the whole world will keep running after the people who will be giving them money. But if we tell someone that come today, we'll be discussing about Krishna, the Supreme Lord, no one will be coming. Why? Because people are spiritually lazy. Materially, they may be very active. But here Mandan means spiritually people are lazy. People are materially, they may be active, but spiritually they are lazy. They are disinterested in understanding the truth. Disinterested. Why? Because they have no time to understand the truth. They are so much engrossed in the three modes and this material nature. And this is called illusion. So that's what here Lord Krishna is telling. Tana Krishna vido mandan Krishna vinna vichalayet. Krishna vin. Now Krishna vin. Krishna again, as we discussed, Krishna means entire or everything. And win means with means knowledge. So a person who is in knowledge of everything, a person who has knowledge of the truth, na vichalayet, he does not shake them, he does not discourage them. A knowledgeable person does not discourage a person who does not have knowledge. In fact, there are two symptoms of a knowledgeable person. Now, knowledgeable person does not mean bookish knowledge. That a person may cram the Vedic scriptures, he may cram the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. That is not knowledge. Real knowledge develops when we engage in devotional service, when we engage in loving devotional service to Krishna. So, knowledge which we receive by cramming the books or cramming the scriptures, that is not real knowledge. That only increases pride in us. But the knowledge which is revealed in the heart, that is called divine knowledge. That is called transcendental knowledge. We will see Lord Krishna talks about it in the 10th chapter. Divine knowledge, transcendental knowledge. So the knowledge which is revealed in the heart of a devotee when he engages in devotional service to Krishna, that is called divine knowledge. That is called transcendental knowledge. And that is true knowledge. So when there is transcendental knowledge within the heart, there are two symptoms of such a person. Titikshavaha karunikaha. The first symptom will be he will be tolerant. And the second symptom will be he'll be compassionate to the whole world. Two things will increase with divine knowledge, with transcendental knowledge. And transcendental knowledge we develop when we engage in loving service to Krishna. So when we engage in loving devotional service to Krishna, these two things will increase in us, in our heart. Tolerance and compassion. So that is the difference between a person in knowledge and a person not in knowledge. The difference is tolerance and compassion. So those who have no knowledge, they have a particular way of working. And those who have knowledge, they have a particular way of working. Of course, just with the symptoms, we can recognize a person. Just like a policeman has his symptoms, a rich person has his symptoms, a poor person has his symptoms, a learned person has his symptoms, isn't it? So by symptoms, we can identify a particular person. Similarly, a knowledgeable person also has his symptoms. And a person who has no knowledge, he also has his symptoms. We discussed this example in the previous session. In a chemical laboratory, if you mix acid with an acid, there is no reaction. Or you mix an alkali with an alkali, there is no reaction. But if you mix an acid with an alkali, there is effervescence. There is tremendous reaction. Why? Because they are opposite in their character. Similarly, when there is knowledgeable person and an ignorant person, if they both come together, there will be friction, there will be disagreements. But there will be disagreements. But a knowledgeable person has a special quality. And what is that? Tolerance and compassion. So because of that, a knowledgeable person is able to adjust. One of the most important symptom of a spiritualist is that he is strict with himself but compassionate with others. He is strict with himself but he is lenient with others. And that is because he is compassionate towards everyone. That is why those who are saintly people, those who have knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, they feel compassion towards suffering humanity because they know that everyone is suffering. No one can say that he is not suffering in this material world. Birth, death, old age, diseases, everyone suffers from that. And that is why those who are pure devotees of Krishna, those who have knowledge, they dedicate their life for preaching the glories of Krishna because they know that one of the quality of a Vaishnav, one of the quality of a pure devotee is that paradukha dukhi. When he sees others unhappy, he also becomes unhappy. And that is why he takes charge of preaching the glories of Krishna. He takes charge of connecting people to Krishna. Because until and unless people are connected to Krishna, they cannot be really happy. True happiness can only be attained on spiritual platform. True happiness can only be attained when we get connected to Krishna. Human life is meant for God realization. Human life is meant for Krishna realization. And a pure devotee knows that. And that is why out of compassion, he desires to preach to everyone the glories of the Lord. He desires to preach the message of the Bhagavad Gita. And that is why, although he may not agree with those who are not in knowledge, but he tries to convince them to practice the process given in the Bhagavad Gita because he knows that that is the only way they can be delivered. So that is why here it is mentioned, akritsna vinna vichalayat. That means a person who is knowledgeable, he does not unsettle ignorant people. He tries to, with compassion, with love, he tries to engage them in the devotional service of Krishna. Now text 30, shloka number 30. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasyaadhyatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva युध्यस्व विगतज्वरः मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि सन्न्यस्याध्यात्मचेतसा निराशीर्निर्ममो भूत्वा युध्यस्व विगतज्वरः. Translation: renounce all your work and surrender to me. Absorb your consciousness in me. Free yourself from all sense of proprietorship and material desires. Overcome all material lethargy and fight. Now you see, Lord Krishna, he is now telling Arjun that what should be his consciousness. So he is saying that Mai Sarvani Karmani. Sarvani means everything, and Karmani means actions. So Sarvani Karmani means all the actions that you do, Arjun. Sanyasya Adhyatma Chetasa. Sanyasya. Sanyasya means sannyas. Sannyas word is composed of two words in Sanskrit. Sat plus nyas. Sat means Krishna. Sat means Satchidanand. Satchidanand means Krishna, the Supreme Lord. And nyas means to give up. So a person who has given up everything because of his love for Krishna, because of his attraction for Krishna, he is called a sannyasi. Such a person is a true sannyasi. So that is what is mentioned here by Lord Krishna, that Mai Sarvani Karmani Sanyasya Adhyatma Chetasa. So a person who has given up all his material activities and who has surrendered to Krishna, Adhyatma Chetasa, Chetasa means consciousness. Because of his exalted consciousness, he has surrendered to Krishna. And there are two very important words used in this connection, in the shloka, you see. Nirashir nirmamo bhutva. Nirashir and nirmama, these are two very important words in this shloka. Now, what is the meaning of nirashir? Nirashi. Ashi means hope. Asha means hope. Nirashi means no material desires, no material hankering. That is the meaning of nirashi. And nirmama means nothing belongs to me. Nirmama means nothing belongs to me. Everything belongs to Krishna. Nirmama means no proprietorship over our possessions. Although we may be possessing certain things, but we know that it does not belong to me. So Nirashir means basically a person who has no hope in this material world. He knows that nothing in this material world is going to go with me. Everyone is born empty-handed and he will go empty-handed. So he is not interested in material assets, material acquisitions, material so-called wealth. He is disinterested. He has no hope in this material world because he knows that the goal of human life is to go back to home, back to Godhead, back to Krishna. So that is why Nirashir, he has no desires, he has no material hankerings. He's peaceful. And then the second word which is used here is nirmama. This nirmama word is very important. I'll give you an example. And this example is from our history. So in our history, we have had great kings, not only kings, saintly kings. Most of the kings that we had in our history, not recent kings, but our past kings, many of them were pure devotees of Krishna. Even today, if you go to old palaces in India, in every old palace, you will find a temple of Lord Krishna or Lord Ram. In every palace, you will find all the kings, they used to worship Krishna. They were all great devotees of Lord Krishna. In fact, in Jaipur, there is a very beautiful temple, Govind Dev Ji temple. And this Govind Dev Ji temple is present in the city palace in the pink city of Jaipur. So the king of Jaipur, he installed Govind Dev Ji temple. It is one of the most beautiful temple in the whole world. Lord Krishna's temple, Govind Dev Ji. So kings in our history have been great pure devotees of Krishna. And one of the great kings, a pure devotee of Krishna, was Parikshit Maharaj. He is the son of Abhimanyu and the grandson of Arjun, Parikshit Maharaj. So Parikshit Maharaj, he was the king of the whole world. At that time, whole earthly planet was known as Bharat Varsha. So in the Bhagavatam, there is description that when Parikshit Maharaj went to examine his kingdom, when he was roaming in his kingdom, that kingdom extended to all parts of the land surrounded by the seas, surrounded by the ocean. What does that mean? That whole tract of land on earthly planet belonged to Parikshit Maharaj. He was such a powerful king. Whole earthly planet, he was the ruler of the whole earthly planet. And although he was at such a responsible position, whole kingdom belonged to him. So one day, a son of a Brahmana, son of a saint, cursed him, gave him shrap, gave him a curse that after 7 days you will die. And you will die because of snake bite. A snake will come and bite you and you will die in 7 days' time. Now he was at such a responsible position. He was king of the whole world. So what did he do? Did he start thinking, oh my God, what will happen to my kingdom? Oh my God, what will happen to my wife, my children? No, nothing like that. He didn't even go to his kingdom. He didn't even go to his palace. As soon as he was cursed by this Brahmin boy, now he was a pure devotee. He could have retraced the curse. If he wanted, he could have retaliated and he could have nullified the curse of the Brahmin boy. But he did not do that. Why? Because he knew that nothing belongs to me. Everything belongs to Krishna. I am just an instrument of Krishna. An ant requires 5 grams of food a day. Who is giving? Krishna. An elephant requires 5 tons of food in a day. Who is providing? Krishna. He is maintaining my kingdom. I am just an instrument. Krishna will take care of everything. And he did not even go back to see what is happening. He simply went to the bank of the Yamuna, bank of river Yamuna, and for 7 days and 7 nights, till he left his body, he heard Srimad Bhagavatam. He heard Krishna Katha. He heard the glories of Krishna for 7 days and 7 nights together. Just imagine. He was such a powerful person, most powerful person in the whole world. So much of responsibility. But that is the meaning of Nirmama. Nothing belongs to me. Everything belongs to Krishna. And everything should be used for Krishna. Tera tujhko arpan kya lage mera. Everything belongs to Krishna and I give everything back to Krishna. That is the mood of a pure devotee. Tera tujhko arpan kya lage mera. Whatever is yours, I give back to you. Nothing is mine. That is the mood of a pure devotee. So Parikshit Maharaj, that consciousness he had. But you see the opposite consciousness. So again, another real story. So there was a person, he had a shop, he was a shopkeeper. So during COVID, he contacted COVID and he was severely affected by COVID disease. So he was admitted to the hospital and the doctor said that he has contacted COVID and he's severely affected. So he'll not be able to live long. Hardly 1 or 2 days he'll be alive and then he will die. So all the family members came to meet him. And during COVID times, you were not allowed to enter the chamber in which the patient is kept. So you have to see the patient from a long distance. So he saw that everyone has come to see him because he's about to die. So he saw that his mother has come, his father has come, his uncle has come, his aunt has come, his wife has come, his children have come, his brother, sister, everyone is there. And then suddenly his eyes became big. And he asked, if all of you are here, then who is at the shop? Who is taking care of the shop? Just imagine. This person is about to die. This person is about to die. And is concerned about the shop. As if the shop will go with him. You see? So this is the consciousness of this shopkeeper. Now, in contrast, just see the consciousness of Parikshit Maharaj, king of the whole world, but he didn't care. Just went to the bank of Yamuna and listened to Krishna Katha for 7 days and 7 nights. Did not care about anyone. Because he knew that Rakhe Krishna Mare Krishna Rakhe ke. Krishna is the protector, Krishna is the destroyer. If Krishna decides to protect, no one can kill. And if Krishna decides to kill, no one can protect. So that is why consciousness of a devotee is like a cashier in a bank or cashier in a company. In a company or in a bank or in a factory, a cashier or a clerk, he has so much of money with him. He generally is in charge of millions and trillions of rupees or dollars. A cashier, in his, if you see his cupboard or his drawer, it will have so much of money always. He'll be dealing with millions and trillions of dollars and rupees. But he knows that not a single penny belongs to me. Although he will be having so much of money in his cupboard, in his drawer, but he knows that not a single penny belongs to me. It belongs to the company, it belongs to the bank. Isn't it? So that is the mood of a devotee. He may be in possession of lot of wealth, but he knows that not even a penny belongs to me. And that is why he uses it only for service of Narayan, because Lakshmi is meant for the service of Narayan. So a real devotee, a pure devotee, he knows that I am just an instrument. This Lakshmi belongs to Narayan. I am just a caretaker of this Lakshmi, and he uses this Lakshmi wisely in the service of Lord Narayan. And that is the meaning of Nirmama. Nirmama means no proprietorship. Nothing belongs to me. Everything belongs to Krishna. So that's what Lord Krishna is saying here. Nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatajvaraha. And he's telling Arjun that Arjun, in such consciousness, you should live your life of a Kshatriya and fight. Now text 31, shloka number 31. Ye me matamidam nityam अनुतिष्ठन्ति मानवाः श्रद्धावन्तो न सूयन्तो मुच्यन्ते तेऽपि कर्मभिः ये मे मतमिदं नित्यम् अनुतिष्ठन्ति मानवाः श्रद्धावन्तो न सूयन्तो मुच्यन्ते तेऽपि कर्मभिः. Translation: one who sincerely follows these eternal teachings of mine with strong faith and without envy becomes liberated from all bondage of actions and their reactions. Very important shloka. So what is Lord Krishna saying here? That ye me matam. Matam means instructions. Instructions of Krishna. So ye me matam idam nityam anutishtanti. Anutishtanti means a strict follower, a good follower of instructions of Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Manava. Manava means a human being. So a human being who is a strict follower of my instructions. Shraddhavanto. Shraddhavanto. Shraddha means strong faith. Who has faith in the words of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Who has a strong faith. And the second word which is used here is anasuyanto. Anasuyanto means a person who is not envious of Krishna. So some people may ask that how can a person be envious of the Lord? How can a person be envious of Krishna? But yes, that's true. There are some people who are envious of Krishna. And if you want to test it, you can just start glorifying Krishna. And you will see that how much people are envious of Krishna. You just start glorifying Krishna amongst your near and dear ones. You start glorifying Krishna in front of any person. No one is interested and they will not be willing to hear the glories of Krishna. Of course, you all are fortunate. You are not envious. But most of the people in this world are envious of God, envious of the Lord. They are atheistic people. They cannot hear the glories of Krishna. So that's why Lord Krishna is telling here, anasuyanto. So a person who is faithful and a person who is not envious of Krishna, and yeme matam idam tityam anutishtanti manava, and a person who is obedient. He is obedient follower of the words and instructions of Lord Krishna. What happens to him? Mucyante tepi karma bhihi. Mucyante means liberation. So he is liberated from all his karma bhihi. Karma bhihi means all his actions and their reactions. Such a person never gets entangled in karmic reactions. He rises above the law of karma simply by following the orders of Krishna. That is the potency of the Bhagavad Gita. That is the power of the instructions of Lord Krishna. Nowhere in this world you will hear such instructions. Only Krishna can promise this. Only Lord Krishna can promise this. That you just follow my instructions and you will be liberated. Only Lord Krishna can say this. Only in the Bhagavad Gita you will find such instructions. Because Bhagavad Gita is called Apaurushaya scripture, Apaurushaya Shastra. Apaurushaya means it's not created by human being. It's not a man-made scripture. No. Spoken directly by Krishna. Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad means Bhagavan, Supreme Lord. And Gita means the song of God. That is Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita, that's why it's called a transcendental scripture. It's not a man-made scripture. It's apaurushaya. It's transcendental. So there are two kinds of people. Some people try to understand the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita or some people try to develop knowledge by experimental methods. They try to experiment and then they try to gather knowledge. But that is not possible. We need to understand how tiny we are. That is very important to realize our position, first of all. You know, the nearest star to our earthly planet? Which is the nearest star to Earth? There are two stars which are equidistant from Earth, according to modern scientists. They say that there are two stars, Alpha Centauri and Proxima Centauri. And they both are equidistant from Earth. You know what is the distance? The distance is 4 light years. Now, how much is this distance? So, the fastest spacecraft that is created by human beings, if a person travels in that fastest spacecraft, it will take him hundreds of thousands of years to reach the nearest star. Just imagine. Can anyone reach? No, it's impossible to even reach the nearest star. I'm talking about the nearest star. Just imagine the expanse of this creation. Millions and trillions of stars, galaxies, planets, universes. Is it possible for human beings to know all these things? Impossible. So there is a very beautiful pastime of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there was one devotee of Lord Chaitanya. His name was Vasudev Ghosh. So Vasudev Ghosh, because as we know that pure devotees, they are very compassionate to general public. So Vasudev Ghosh, when he saw people suffering in this age of Kali Yuga, he also became sad. So one day he told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that, Mahaprabhu, kindly do me one favor. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yes, my dear child, tell me what I can do for you. So he said that, kindly transfer all the sins of everyone on earthly planet to me, so that I may suffer here, but you take everyone back with you, back to home, back to Godhead, back to spiritual world. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started laughing and he said that, what are you talking? So there was a bag, a huge bag which was full of mustard seeds. So he picked up one mustard seed from that bag and he said, what is this mustard seed? This mustard seed represents the earthly planet. This earthly planet is not even a speck in the whole creation. It's so tiny. And the living entities who are present on this earthly planet are very, very less. So even if you take all the sins of everyone on earth, nothing will happen. This world is so huge. So what does it mean? This means that to our experimental knowledge, we can never understand this creation. It's impossible for ordinary human beings because we are so tiny. We can never understand this creation by our experimental knowledge. We are very tiny. We should know our position first of all. So experimental knowledge will always fail in trying to understand God. The only way we can understand God is by going to a person who knows God. The only way to know Krishna is to go to a person who knows Krishna. That is called Shabda Praman. Just like if we want to know our father, the only proof of our father is our mother. Except our mother, no one can tell us who is our father. Similarly, if we want to know who is Krishna, we can only know by going to a person who is a pure devotee of Krishna, who knows Krishna. So, that is why here Lord Krishna is using the word anasuyanto. So, those who are envious of Krishna, those who have no faith in words of Krishna, they will not understand. But those who are faithful and those who are not envious, this Bhagavad Gita knowledge is meant for them. And that is why Krishna reveals himself in the Bhagavad Gita. He is talking about himself in the Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because so that no third person should come and use his own logics and tell about Krishna to others. So that people should not cheat the general public. That's why Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita has told his position. So that an ordinary person who has no knowledge of Krishna, he should not come and cheat people by telling them about Krishna. Just imagine if Bhagavad Gita was not there, how will we know who is God? How will we know who is Krishna? So that is why Krishna has revealed his position in the Bhagavad Gita, so that we cannot be cheated by these cheaters who say that we are God. They cheat the general innocent people. So that innocent people are not cheated, that's why this Bhagavad Gita has been given by Lord Shri Krishna. And if we follow the instructions of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, here in the shloka we see, Muchyante tepi karma bhihi, will be free from all the reactions of our sinful activities, all kinds of reactions, good or bad, will be free from all that. Now text 32, shloka number 32. Ye tve tadabhyaसूयन्तो नानुतिष्ठन्ति मे मतं सर्वज्ञान विमूढ़ांस्तान् विद्धि नष्टान चेतसः. ये त्वे तदभ्यसूयन्तो नानुतिष्ठन्ति मे मतं सर्वज्ञान विमूढ़ांस्तान् विद्धि नष्टान चेतसः. Translation: but those who out of envy do not follow my eternal teachings should be known as deluded, with their knowledge and consciousness destroyed. Now you see, in the previous shloka, Lord Krishna talks about those people who follow the instructions of Lord Krishna. And in the previous shloka, Lord Krishna says that those who will follow my instructions with faith and those who are not envious of me, they will be liberated from all reactions. Now here he is saying that ye tu etad abhyasuyanto, but those who are abhyasuyanto means those who are envious of the Lord. Na anutishtanti, and those who do not follow what I say in the Bhagavad Gita. Matam means instructions. Those who don't follow my instructions in the Bhagavad Gita, what will happen to them? Sarva jnana vibodham stan. Their knowledge will be destroyed. Viddhi nashtan achetasah, and their consciousness will be doomed. Their consciousness will also be destroyed. Just like if you are living in a kingdom, you cannot become an enemy to the king and live in the kingdom. No, you have to follow the orders of the king, isn't it? You cannot be an enemy to the king and live in the kingdom. You can't develop enmity with the king and live in the kingdom of the king. It's impossible. If a person does that, he'll be punished by the king. So this whole creation is the kingdom of Krishna, created by Krishna for his pleasure. And of course, we are all part and parcel of Krishna. So we can live here, but we have to obey the orders of the Lord. If we don't obey, then we are liable to be punished. And that is why Krishna descends. That's what he says in the Bhagavad Gita. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. In the 4th chapter. Abhyuthanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. That is why the Lord says that he descends to re-establish dharma, because dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Dharma can only be established by Krishna. Human beings cannot establish dharma or religious principles. Religious principles can only be enacted or established by Krishna, the Supreme Lord. And that is why he descends in this world, to give us what we have to follow. And if we follow, we are protected. If we do not follow, then we are liable to be punished. So that is what Lord Krishna is saying here in this shloka. Because this creation is created by him. He is the controller of this creation, and we just have to follow what he says. That will be for our benefit. It's not that when we follow Krishna, Krishna will be benefited. No, we will be benefited. Text 33, shloka number 33. Sadrisham cheshtate swasyaah प्रकृतेर्ज्ञानवानपि प्रकृतिं यान्ति भूतानि निग्रहः किं करिष्यति सदृशं चेष्टते स्वस्याः प्रकृतेर्ज्ञानवानपि प्रकृतिं यान्ति भूतानि निग्रहः किं करिष्यति. Translation: even a learned man acts according to his own nature, as all living beings follow their inherent nature. Therefore, what can suppression achieve? Very important shloka. So, what is Lord Krishna saying here? That sadrisham cheshtate swasya prakritir jnanavanapi. Sadrisham cheshtate swasya prakriti. Prakriti means nature. So, every living entity, every species have their own nature. And we live life according to the body which is given to us by material nature. For example, a human being is not attracted to a she-dog. A man is not attracted to a she-dog. No. A man is attracted to a woman. A dog is attracted to a she-dog. A woman is attracted to a man. A she-dog is attracted to a she-dog. It never happens that man is attracted to a she-dog. No. Isn't it? Why? Because we act according to the body that has been provided to us by material nature. And everyone is acting according to the nature of his body. A monkey is not attracted to a she-dog. Right? Why? Because every species acts according to the nature of body that has been given to them. So animals cannot act like human beings and human beings cannot act like animals. Devatas, demigods cannot act like human beings and human beings cannot act like demigods. Every body has a particular way of working. So human body is given for God realization. Human life is meant for Krishna realization. Human life is meant for love for Krishna, to develop love for God. And that is why you see, because we are all servants of Krishna. Jiver Swarupa Krishnera Nityadas. We have been created to give pleasure to Krishna. We have been created to serve Krishna. Sometimes when I use this word service, people think, oh my God, that means we are servants. Yes, we are. But on a material platform, the experience of servitude, what we have is different. Because on material platform, we see that a servant is exploited by the master. But that is not the case with Krishna. When we make Krishna as the master, he never exploits us. Because of material experience, we think servitude as bad. We think that serving Krishna, that means we'll become servants. But that is the greatest quality of a human being. And servitude is natural for us. Everyone is serving someone or the other. Someone is serving his family, someone is serving his husband, wife, father, mother, sister, brother, country, society. Everyone is serving someone or the other. If a person finds no one to serve, he keeps dog as a pet and serves the dog. But ultimately, everyone serves someone. Because servitude is our natural constitutional position. Because we all are servants of Krishna. We are meant to give pleasure to Krishna. We are meant to serve Krishna. But as of now, we are using that servitude to serve other things or other personalities. So the perfection of human life is attained when we realize that I am an eternal servant of Krishna and my only goal of life is to give pleasure to Krishna. Because yasmin tushte Jagat Tushte. When Krishna is satisfied, whole universe is satisfied. We just need to please one person, that's all. We don't need to please anyone else in this whole creation, just one person. And that takes care of everything. So that's what Lord Krishna is telling, that everyone acts according to his nature, but human body is meant for Krishna realization. Now text 34, shloka number 34. Indriyasyendrasyaarthe ragadvesho vyavasthito tayornavashamagachet tohyasya paripanthino. Indriyasyendrasyaarthe रागद्वेषो व्यवस्थितो तयोर्नवशमागच्छेत तौह्यस्य परिपन्थिनो. Translation: one must not fall under the control of attachment or detachment to the senses and sense objects, as they are obstacles for those on the path of self-realization. Very beautiful shloka, very important shloka. Lord Krishna is telling here that indriyasya arthe. Indriyasya means senses, and indriyasya arthe means objects of the senses. So we have five senses: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, and we have five objects of the senses: touch, smell, taste, speech, and form. These are five kinds of sense objects. So raga dvesho. Rag means attraction, dvesh means repulsion. So sometimes we are attracted to something, sometimes we are not attracted to something. Sometimes we like something, sometimes we hate something. That is because of the senses, right? So here Lord Krishna is saying, Tayor navashamagachet. A person who is on a spiritual platform, navasham. Vasham means he is not controlled by the senses. He becomes controller of his senses. He is called a Swami or he is called a Goswami. Why? Because he is the master of his senses. He is not controlled by the senses. So, tau hyasya paripanthino. Paripanthino. Panthin means a person who wants to progress on this path of Krishna realization. He does not fall under the control of senses and sense objects. Why? You see, it is mentioned tohyasya paripanthino. So a person who wants to progress on this path, senses and sense objects are stumbling blocks. For example, if you want to travel to Delhi from Mumbai, so on the path, there may be many stumbling blocks, there may be many speed breakers. Suppose if you take a route or take a road where there are lot of speed breakers, after every few meters there is a speed breaker. Will you be able to reach Delhi on time? No. Your speed will be reduced and you will not be able to go with, you will not be able to travel at a good speed. Why? Because there are so many stumbling blocks, there are so many speed breakers. Similarly, the senses and sense objects, they are stumbling blocks on the path of Krishna realization. So a person should not get swayed by all these things. He should transcend bodily platform and he should move to spiritual platform. And now this third chapter, Lord Krishna will talk about that how we have to transcend to spiritual platform from bodily platform. Now the next part of the third chapter, the last part of the third chapter is all about this only. Now the last shloka of today's session, text 35, shloka number 35. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanushtitat swadharme nidhanam shreyaha paradharmah bhayavaha. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha Paradharmat swanushtitat swadharme nidhanam shreyah paradharmo bhayavah. Translation: one's own prescribed duties, even if imperfectly performed, are superior to the duties of others, even if perfectly executed. It is better to face annihilation while performing one's own duties, as taking on the duties of others is dangerous. So now Lord Krishna here in this shloka, he talks about how important it is to perform our own duties and not worry about what others are doing. For example, if I am the owner of a company, or suppose a person is the owner of a company and he has 4 employees. To one employee, he has given him to take care of accounts. To another employee, he has given the job, or he has given him the service of taking care of marketing. Right? But if suppose a marketing person starts to fight with the accounts person, that no, you are not doing your work properly, I will do your work. Marketing person wants to do the work of accounts person, and accounts person wants to do the work of marketing person. What will happen to the owner of the company? He will become angry, no? That I have given you this service, you do what is told to you. Don't look at other service, isn't it? So, similarly, this whole world is divided into 4 varnas and 4 ashramas. Wherever we go in this world, we will find 4 orders of human society: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Brahman means intellectual class or teacher class, scholar class. Then Kshatriya means warrior class or administrative class. Vaishya means mercantile community. And Shudra means paid people, paid employees. Wherever you go in this world, you go to America, you go to Russia, you go to China, you go to India, wherever you go in this world, you will find these 4 classes. Now, the real beautifully designed Varnashram was found during earlier times, thousands of years back. This whole world was divided very scientifically in these 4 classes. And these 4 classes were divided so that society can function smoothly. And that is why in our Vedic history, you will never find that a Brahmana is fighting with a Shudra or a Shudra is fighting with a Brahmana. You'll never find that a Shudra wants to become a Brahmana or a Brahmana wants to become a Kshatriya. No. Because they had this knowledge that actually these are designations of the body, because I am not a Brahmana, I am not a Shudra, I am not a Kshatriya, I am not a Vaishya. I am a spirit, soul, and part and parcel of Krishna. That is my original designation. These Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, these are all bodily designation. That is not my original designation. My original designation is that I am part and parcel of Krishna, and my duty is to serve Krishna. So society was divided like that, and these 4 divisions were created so that society can function smoothly. But ultimately, every person in the society knew that human life is meant for serving Krishna. And that's why there was harmony which existed. So that's why in the Bhagavatam it is mentioned that Atah Pumbhir Dvija Shrestha Varnashram Vibhagasha Swanushthitasya Dharmasya Sansiddhir Hari Toshanam. This Varnashram was divided to please Hari. Because whether he's a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, everyone was meant to serve Krishna. They knew that the goal of human life is to serve Krishna. The goal of human life is Krishna realization. And that's why there was harmony. So no one wanted to do others' work, because it's better to die doing whatever I am doing rather than try to imitate someone else's work. Why? Because these are all temporary things. How long I am going to live? 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 80 years, 100 years. That's all. Ultimately, I have to die and I have to go back to Krishna. That was the goal of human life. That was the goal of every human being. It was such a beautiful way of designing the society. And it was designed by none other than the Lord himself. And that's why we find it in every part of the world even today. Although it is in a degraded condition, but that we find everywhere. So that is what Lord Krishna is saying here. That is better to perform one's own duty rather than trying to see others' duty or trying to imitate others' duty. So that is what we are seeing here. So we'll stop here today's session. And now we are moving into a very special part of the third chapter, because now Lord Krishna will talk about how to rise from material platform to spiritual platform. A very beautiful question will be asked by Arjun, and Lord Krishna will give the answers of these questions to Arjun. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much, all of you, for coming for today's session. Hare Krishna.